Now the other day I was asked a question: who are the most expensive football players in the world right now? And according to Transfermarkt, it's actually Erling Haaland and Vinicius Jr who are both joint top with a value of 200 million euros. But that's not my problem. My problem is looking down at the rest of this list. I mean, according to this site, Martin Ødegaard is the 14th most expensive footballer in the world. And no, I'm not making a big deal out of this because Martin Ødegaard is some sort of scrub of a footballer, but still, 14th most expensive player in the entire world used to be actual world-class players. And I think me looking at this table the other day and seeing all these names, all these values, just put me into some sort of existential crisis. Because right now we are going through a shift in football that nobody has really got to grips with yet. And of course I can point out the obvious, like Messi's playing in the Burger League and Ronaldo is playing in the Halal Burger League. But still, it's not just because the two GOATs have pretty much one foot out the door when it comes to playing football in general. It's the global landscape of the game. It's completely changed. Looking at this table of the most expensive footballers in the game right now, it's clear to see that we are officially in a completely new era of football. We are no longer seeing any great names of the past. The Suarez's, the Ibras, Messi's gone, Ronaldo's gone, Neymar's just joined Santos after absolutely robbing Al Hilal. Al Hilal might as well start a new project. Get Zion, that baby, in. They need him. He'd probably have more of an impact than Neymar did for their club. The entire golden era of Barcelona has completely faded out of the game. Modric is on his last legs. Kroos just retired. Even the likes of De Bruyne for Manchester City looks like he's heading out of that door next season. Right now, all the players that dominated for the last decade are completely fading out of the game, giving way to a new generation of talent. From Erling Haaland's robotic efficiency to Jude Bellingham's midfield mastery, football is now entering a new golden age where we actually have to accept that these guys are the new era. You know, as much as we think that they're not as good as the last, we just gotta put our fingers together, cross them, and hope for the best. And let's of course start by talking about the individual that is at the top of this table, Erling Haaland. Now, despite having a slow season with Manchester City this year, there is no doubt that Erling Haaland is the best striker in football right now. Of course, the brilliance of Harry Kane and Lewandowski are still lacing up their boots week in and week out, but Erling Haaland is about 15 years younger. Maybe not 15 years. And people are forgetting that during the 2022/23 season, this guy scored 52 goals in 53 games, breaking the record for the most goals in a single Premier League season with 36, with his performances being instrumental in Manchester City winning a treble that year. And even though he's having a quote-unquote slow season, just take a look at his numbers. With 28 goals in 25 games in all competitions, let's just take a step back and realize that you're saying that Haaland is not as good as last season when your starting striker is Nico Jackson, when your starting striker is Eddie Nketiah, when your starting striker is Haaland. You need to calm down. And I think for the last stretch of this season, he has a lot to prove. With the incoming Omar Mamouche that is going to help him grab a few goals, I think we'll see that he'll be hitting definitely the golden boot. And from a man valued at 200 million euros to another valued at 100 million euros, which I actually think, come on, 100 million euros, Jude Bellingham. That would get you his left arm. Now, Jude Bellingham's story has to be one of the most inspirational ones for young, promising English talents. Rising at Birmingham City, where they retired his number, moving to Germany and absolutely balling out for Borussia Dortmund with brilliant displays against the likes of Manchester City in the Champions League, and then having enough leverage to make an incredible move to Real Madrid, where in his first season, I have never seen that much of an impactful first season from a midfielder. Double-digit assists, double-digit goals, and crucial clutch performances against the likes of Barcelona, where he scored twice in that game. I remember he scored one from about 25 yards out, banging it into the top corner, and then the last minutes of the game, the ball gets put into the box and it's Jude Bellingham who turns up. This is the new midfield maestro of this era, and you can chat to me about, oh, his attitude on the pitch is not good enough. Shut up. In 2023, Jude Bellingham won the Golden Boy Award, and then in 2024, he followed that up by moving to Real Madrid and then winning the La Liga Player of the Year. He has set the expectation so high for his position that people are now expecting midfielders to play just like him. And that's why right now he's firmly placed as one of the most expensive and valuable players in the game. We've also got to talk about Kylian Mbappe, who is pretty much the heir to the throne, with his biggest inspiration being Cristiano Ronaldo. And now, after a slow start to the season, his numbers are actually looking quite good. Mbappe's got 22 goals in all competitions this season, and he's only just getting in the groove. We know how good this guy can be. The rapid pace, the clinical ability, the clutch finishing. We've seen him do it before. World Cup final against Argentina, all these big games, even when he was a 17-year-old at Monaco, banging it in against Manchester City, going toe-to-toe with this team. I know he's got the ability, you know he's got the ability, but it's just about him laying out the blueprint and finding his best form in this side of all-stars that is Real Madrid. And talking about another all-star that is on his team that supposedly got robbed of a Ballon d'Or, we have to talk about another player that is joint top of the table of the most valuable players in football, Vinny Jr. Now, Vinny Jr is currently the pinnacle of left wingers in football, evolving from a raw talent at Real Madrid that wasn't really trusted on the ball to Mr. Reliable, Mr. I'm gonna score in every knockout round of the Champions League. This guy might as well grab the S-curl, grab some blonde hair dye and call himself VR7, because he has stepped onto that left side of the pitch and absolutely dominated it for several years now. In the 2023 Champions League, he was voted as the best young player, and since that moment his performances in Europe have been consistently amazing. This season so far he's got 18 goals and 12 assists, even in this ever-changing Real Madrid side. He has been the main guy for so long, and he's had to deal with a new ego that is in the dressing room, which is Kylian Mbappe, and still he's getting the numbers and he's getting things done. And from one prolific winger to another, we have to talk about Bukayo Saka. Now, Bukayo Saka is one of these players that is completely overhated by everyone but Arsenal fans. This is a guy that has been consistent and carrying Arsenal since he broke out into the scene, playing in the Europa League for Arsenal, where he scored his first goal against Frankfurt. And time again he comes up clutch, whether it's for club or country. At the start of this season, Saka was on course to have one of his best yet. With 12 goals and 10 assists, he was then sidelined by injury, and we are seeing the effect that has had on Arsenal as a whole. But of course you've got the likes of Saka, Salah, Palmer that are in the Prem doing their thing. But Lamine Yamal is also another player that is in this new era of footballers that is at the start of his journey. At 17 years of age, Yamal has now played over 100 games for Barcelona, breaking multiple age-related records. Having 10 goals and 8 assists this season so far, he's another one of these players that is, claiming at the throne. These pinnacle footballers that are doing the most to become one of the best. And alongside him in the same team is Rafinha, who has been balling out this season. I think Rafinha and Mo Salah this season are honestly the two Ballon d'Or contenders when it comes to just their form. I don't think they are the best players in football. I think, these are just outstanding seasons, but what they're doing is not being spoken about enough. Now, these two are amazing, and there's a bunch of other rising ballers like Ethan Nwaneri that are breaking through, but there seems to be this bigger issue that made me actually make this video, because of course this shift in football is happening, but it makes me just so annoyed when I look at the past and what football used to be, and then just compare it with the players that are so-called the best right now. Because they're all amazing players and we are watching them week in and week out and living through their amazing performances, but just 5 or 6 years ago, you look at the top 10 of the most expensive players from 2017, the list is phenomenal. It can't be helped for someone like me who grew up during this era to look back on it so fondly with this, nostalgic vision, because it's just a fact that Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, even Harry Kane, that were just thriving in the 2017, 2018, they're so much better than the players that we have as the most valuable in football right now. This was a time where Salah wasn't the pinnacle of football. He was one of just another world-class player in the game. Hazard was playing, You know, Bale was playing, Mane was playing, who was arguably better than Salah during this period. The shift in football is happening, but I'm not really that impressed with the new generation of footballers until they start putting some crazy performances out there, because I feel like this is some grander topic, because all the really best players in the world right now, they play for Barcelona and they play for Real Madrid. That's about it. What, Liverpool as well, I guess. Arsenal, come on. Now, this shift in football is actually just a natural progression that this sport seems to go through. And yet, as one era fades, another one emerges with even younger players that are starting at an even younger age. Tell me right now in the comments down below, who is your favorite player to watch in football? And of course, this has been Jib Rules. Make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe. You can also become a member to support the channel even more. And yeah, I have an Instagram. You can follow that too. But stay safe, stay blessed, and peace.